I kept seeing a car go into the water. All day they've been showing me reruns in my mind of Adventures with Purpose. BP's gonna find her in the Prosser Lake.
We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle. Again, our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10.
There are plenty of questions and very few answers after 4 students at the University of Idaho were found murdered in their off-campus house.
It's like if you look at Ted Bundy's eyes and you look at his eyes, they're the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. The one thing that I keep seeing is curls. So I don't know if he has curly hair or wavy hair, and that might be when it's grown out. I think he elongated, like his face might be a little bit longer. There's a reference to a pointier type nose. He honestly looks a lot like Ted Bundy, but like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Like not as handsome. Seriously, that's what I heard, like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Why am I hearing the word campus security? I keep getting like a security guard or a badge. I don't really, and that could be in his past as well. That might not mean that he just does it right now. And names can be, like I said, interconnects can happen, so they might not even fit this case, or they can be connections to someone. I keep getting like a Brian or something like that. It's because they are going to catch him. Because I'm seeing him in an orange jumpsuit.
Good.
So that tells me that he wasn't as smart as he thought he was. Okay. He's probably going to go to jail for this eventually. I keep getting December.
8-year-old Brian Koberger. He was arrested Friday in
I also get the name Richard again.
I also get the name Rick. Damn name Allen is coming in again.
Jailed 50-year-old Richard Allen in connection with the double murder. Teen best friends Libby German and Abby Williams went hiking on a trail and never came home.
Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Q and O. I don't know, I hear something like Quentin or Quentin. I've heard that. I'm not sure if it fits here at all, but I'm seeing trash and I'm not sure, but I've gotten it a lot, so it fits someone.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I do keep hearing a trash truck though. Then I keep hearing the trash truck. It's almost like the trash truck is around the same time that he left. That's one thing I can't get rid of is the twisting of the trash bag. And so then I'm like, well, is he in the trash?
Okay.
Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I do hear landfill. Could be that's where maybe the cops think that he is. Like he's in a trash bag, but...
Well, new tonight, a heartbreaking search underway in Georgia for a missing toddler. Police are sifting through trash at a landfill for the remains of 20-month-old Quentin Simon.
If he's still alive, which honestly earlier I felt he was, and I felt like he was going to be found. That was earlier in the day.
A 3-year-old boy found alive and in good health.
For some reason, I do want to go out the back of the house, though, but like to the wooded area, but I don't.
He was last seen on Friday playing with his dad in their backyard.
And I said, like, within 3 miles by a log. I'm not seeing him being hurt, and I'm not seeing someone coming up and getting him.
And I said, were you alone? Yes.
The main 2 things I keep getting is the wooded area and the shed.
Well, to take cover in that shed. And I truly...
My kid, I would want somebody to come help.
We are live as law enforcement and volunteers search late into the night to find...
I see him running to the woods. Like, Cam, like, is this an abduction or did he run off? Because then they give me the Riker thing. No, I keep getting the repeated image of him running to the woods. House.
It's like right in their backyard.
Okay. So maybe he decided he wanted to go play and then he kind of got lost in the woods. Okay. He's got to be within 2 miles. I keep getting that 2 miles. So like I keep getting a reference to the edge of the woods. And so he's still alive because I'm not using him to get this information.
Right.
Around in the woods like I can't find my way out. I'm stuck. Like and
And I said, he's in a bush.
Okay.
And we were like, what the heck? What do you mean he's in a bush? I said, he's in a bush, and there's searchers around him, but they've missed him.
Okay.
Because he's in this bush.
And I went across a field of grass. I came up on some woods, and I listened good. I heard like a whimpering kind of noise. And at that point, I was like, there's no other kids here. It's got to be JJ. So sure enough, I went in the woods, and about 100 feet from where I was at, I think he was in some stickers. There's a lot of stickers and all there.
Tonight in our Missing series, a case that we have heard a lot about from our viewers.
The person.
He wants to take me down the road to like a neighbor's house or something, like another farm. I also hear neighbor. He said he knows this guy. He knows him. And he's a neighbor. I don't know what the friends come in.
Suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
Oops, I had my mic muted. Sorry. So I hope that I try to transition that a lot better. I always think it's going to jump off the screen and I don't have to remove it. I forget. So I apologize that it's a little not great. Anyway, so today we're going to be doing Shanquella Robinson. I hope I'm saying that right. I've worked really hard to try to figure out how to say it. So, yeah, as you guys know, information that comes in can be past, present, or future, symbolic, or have multiple meanings. Spirit will often use my references, experiences, or how I relate to something to try to explain what they're wanting to say. As I get information, Tammy or Vanished and Forgotten is going to come on and she's going to validate what she knows. She doesn't need to validate everything, as she won't be able to validate everything, but I just need her to kind of keep me going. That's basically what it is. It's like I'm giving her a reading. So that's why she comes on, and her energy helps my energy. Oops. I need to turn off my sound on here. I always forget to do that as well. And my dogs decided they wanted to bark all of a sudden right now. So I do apologize. Tammy's saying that she can't hear me, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Anyways, so she's going to come on and validate. So I can only give you guys what Spirit gives me. I can't give any more than what's given to me. So, you know, I won't get every detail or whatnot, but just hang on to everything, because Spirit does give everything for a reason, and it is how we perceive it, as how it makes sense to the case. So sometimes I misperceive, sometimes I perceive things wrong, but it is how it makes sense for the case. Keep in mind, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. See, Spirit's starting to come in. Sorry, I get a little I can't think when Spirit starts to come in. And she's actually been coming in since before I even got on here. I was already getting flashes and stuff. So she's been around for quite a little bit, and she's making me a little ditzy right now. So I do apologize. So keep in mind, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. There is in no way factual information. This is all psychic medium impressions, and viewer discretion is advised. So I felt the pull to her for a little bit. I don't know anything. I've tried to kind of stay away from it because I knew eventually I was going to work it. I was asked to work it before, so I kind of was like, well, I'm going to wait till I feel pulled to do so. The only thing I really know is that the U.S. has decided not to follow a case on it, so I thought that it would be a good time to get her, get her voice out there and get what happened. So keep in mind, if you've made it this far, you can always fast forward the beginning, and this is her words. So I do the best to channel her words. If you guys are new here, keep in mind that I do not research cases or know anything about cases. I try to stay away and be under a rock as much as I can, especially if I feel like I'm going to work a case. So Spirit will give facts as part of a validation. All right. So keep that in mind. I think I've said everything. I hope I've said everything because she's kind of coming in and I can't focus. So hopefully I've said everything. All right. I need to bring on Tammy. Okay, you're there. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I checked it checks it before I come on and it said it was working. So
Right.
All
It
right.
just sounded really low.
It might be Spirit too. If you notice, sometimes Spirit will mess with my microphone.
Yeah.
And she's pretty strong, honestly, because I have to say that I've been getting hot on and off since we talked about doing this. I had a major headache earlier, like it came out of nowhere. It just got hit like right here in the temple. And right now I feel like I'm wanting to cough. So she's made me feel really spacey. So that tells me that she's taking over my thoughts, and that's why in the beginning I've been really spacey. I'm usually not like that, but she feels like she's going to be a strong spirit, which is good. I like that. Makes my job a lot easier. Which means she's going to drain my energy as well. So drinking that energy drink. So we're working off this picture. We're going to try this picture. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and I was getting visions too when I was trying to post it and everything. So, I mean, she's already coming in strong. I did say everything I usually say, right? You think of anything I was missing?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know, because I feel a little out of it. A little high, a little, so it could be that she's making me feel really ungrounded, or it could be that there is alcohol, drugs involved. So that's kind of how it comes across, or how I'm feeling, I should say.
I think they were out drinking, so.
Okay. Well, it makes sense because I feel like I've been drinking. It's kind of weird how they can make me feel that. I feel a little, I'll feel a little out of it or whatever.
Right.
It's kind of odd. She's showing me runway stuff. So models on the runway, not saying that she was, but it's more towards the fashion or clothes part of it. And she shows me a lot of her high end but unique clothes. So I don't know if that was part of her job or part of her living or what she did, but for some reason she's showing me a model walking down the runway, but her emphasis is on the clothes.
Okay.
I don't know. I hear fashion designer. So I don't know if she actually was or she was just wanting to be. And I feel like actually financially she was kind of doing okay for herself. And I also get this bubbly personality. I get this she's laughing. She's laughing for some reason. So she's showing me this bubbly, outgoing personality. I feel like she was liked by a lot of people, but she was also envied by a lot of people. And she says sometimes I could be a sarcastic biatch. So I feel like that tells me her personality. She'll just tell you how it is. And I feel like maybe some people that might have rubbed the wrong way sometimes, but it's just who she was. And there's nothing wrong with that, being upfront and straight up. And it kind of made her, I think, maybe seem a little biatchy at sometimes, which I think we all have that in us.
Yeah.
But she comes across as very like outgoing, bubbly. Like I don't feel like she was shy.
Right.
I feel like she was actually a pretty loud person for the most part, the way that she's bringing it in, which is why I felt like she was going to be strong during this reading. But I really feel messed up. And I wouldn't be curious if she wasn't drugged or something wasn't put in her drink, because that's how I feel. It's more
Okay.
than just being drunk. And because I hear this was a plan. Like this was a plan all along. And she talks about, and so she was getting right into it. I was trying to get some more validation, but she really wants to talk about this.
Right.
We know she wants to talk about it because she's been kind of poking me for the last week. And she says for mama. So this
Okay.
is basically like for her mom, and like she wants her, I guess, her story out.
Right.
So she is. So before I got on here, I kept getting a reference to 5. I don't know if that's 5 extra people or 5 people including her, or that either know or are involved. It comes in that way as far as what the 5 means.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that all of them are involved. It's just she's giving me the 5, but I want to relate it to people. That's how I'm perceiving it.
Okay.
I don't know. She talks about like this supposed to be, I don't know where she meant. She keeps showing me this girl that's like jealous of her, but it was like undercover friend of me. Like she's one of those, it comes across as one of those people that is nice to your face and acts like they're your friend, but is secretly jealous and wants what you have.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
how she's explaining this so-called friend of hers. I'm getting like males and females together, so I don't know if they just all decided to take a trip or whatever, but it feels like there's a mix.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know if they met through work or because of work, because I'm hearing work with it.
Okay.
And I don't know. She says I was going places. So I feel like she was going places, and therefore it made some people really jealous. And also I feel like I see her like spending money or paying for things, and people wanted that. So part of this feels very jealous motivated, very money motivated, very that's kind of how it's coming in. That's the best I can explain it at this point in time. But you know what's crazy is this feels like this was a plan. Like it wasn't just something that just happened. Like there's a fight and whatever. And I don't really know if that's what happened or whatever yet. I've heard things through the grapevine.
Right.
But I'll always give you what I'm seeing. It doesn't feel like it was one of those things where, I mean, it kind of did just happen, but I feel like there was the way she brings it across is there was some sort of plan or some sort of trap. And I don't know if it was made evident, but it was something like, and maybe they didn't mean for her to perish in this. Maybe it was more like, we're going to teach her a lesson, we're going to rob her kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's just the feelings I'm getting around it.
Okay.
But there's a reference to them being drunk, and I'm getting like a fight. Like like a fight specifically with one girl.
Yeah.
But for some reason others feel involved.
Okay.
And there's a reference to like getting my hair pulled, like my hair getting grabbed. You know how girls fight, like women fight, but she's specifically telling me like someone grabbed her hair, and it was because of a pop off, like there was drinking and stuff going on, but I, for some reason, feel like she was drugged or doing drugs, and that's, you know, they were partying. Who's to
Yep.
say? But there's yeah, I feel more than I'm just kind of drunk, you
Okay.
know.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like she's popping it in her drink,
Oh, okay.
which is really weird. Like
Yeah.
I see a pill being popped in the drink and the bubbles coming up. So I don't know if she's trying to say like she was drugged or whatever, because for some reason this comes across as like they wanted to take what she had. Like I don't know if she had I keep getting this like I had a lot of money or I had a lot of things that they wanted.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense. Because she's talking about there being jealousy, like there being
Right.
major jealousy, but I feel like I hear two women arguing. Like this is like they start off arguing and then it turns into screaming, and I
Yep.
also feel like there's a reference to like a man. Like I don't know if they were arguing over a man, fighting over a man, but there feels like there's a man in the middle.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure what the reference is to that. But there's something about being ganged up on or but then I hear they covered their tracks. So I don't know if it was made to look like something else.
Yeah.
Or it was done, but then there I'm getting that there was a phone call to someone. It feels like a family member. There was a phone call to a family member where it was like, you know, she died of natural causes or she passed away of natural causes or something like that. Or she was in the hospital.
Okay.
And it comes across as, you know, it was lies or whatever. Like there wasn't a lot of information given. There was just one phone call that was made, and it feels like to a family member, to mom. I want to say mom. It feels like it was to mom. And it was like them either saying she was, I think maybe in the hospital, because she shows me a hospital. I don't know if she actually was or not, or if this was just something that was being said, but she shows me like there's a phone call made saying she was in the hospital.
Okay.
But it was like due to something else.
Right.
Because I hear the word cover up.
Yep.
And there's a reference to like my head. But then I also can't breathe. And that's where the coughing earlier came in at when I first came on. Is like
Okay.
I feel like I couldn't breathe, but there's a reference to my head as well. So I don't somehow I feel like there's gotta be I don't know if there was actual I don't know. Because I keep getting like the drug thing. So I don't know if it was just something that they said or, you know, there was actually some in her system because it was put in her drink. Like that's the way it comes across. But and I feel that way. Like I
Okay.
feel I don't feel sober. Mm. But she says she like has high quality stuff. Like she even seems like maybe she would be high maintenance. Like she always had to have her hair done, her nails done, her looking
Yep.
good. Like she never looked off.
Right.
And I feel like she attracted a lot of attention, and so then there comes the I'm jealous of you. There's some hidden jealousy here, and again, it comes across as a friend to me, you know, someone that
Yep.
she thought was her friend that ended up not being her friend. But I get that there's internal injuries that were there that didn't follow a storyline.
Right.
That's the way that it comes across. She says the word, am I allowed to say the M word on here?
I don't know.
Red rum. She says that word.
Okay.
And she makes me underline it. So curious what cards I'm going to end up pulling for her.
Right.
But it's basically, this comes across, it started like wherever they were staying at.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's where she was originally found at, because it's almost like, I don't know if it's a resort or a hotel. I can never tell the difference in a vision, but it feels like a
I think it
nicer
was both.
hotel.
Yeah.
Resort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicer hotel. Where does South Carolina come in at?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. So she also gives me the number 3. So I don't know if that's like 3 like directly involved, because it's kind of weird. It's like I see the one girl like get in a fight with her, but it's like the other stuff other people did, like they jumped in.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm kind of jumped. I don't know. I hear internal injuries, but also I can't breathe.
Right.
So there's something with her breathing being cut off in my head specifically.
Okay.
That's just the way that it's coming in as far as that's concerned. But again, I don't know if they called the police and tried to make it look like it's something it wasn't. This was a mystery, because it's like they tried to say that she just like had an OD or like something happened to her, but it wasn't that. And I don't know if the fight has anything to do with it, but I feel like the injuries from her fight contributed to her passing, so therefore she's saying red rum, and if those specific things hadn't have happened, then she would still be alive. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
And she talks about, again, it being a plan and then a cover up.
Right.
And again, I don't know if they, and my neck is hurting really bad all of a sudden. I don't know if they wanted to like because I don't know if she was robbed or stuff was taken from her, because it comes across as like money was wanting to be taken or clothes or something. There's some kind of something that was going to be taken or that they took.
Right. Okay.
She says, I never would have thought in a million years like this would have happened. She didn't see it coming. She said blind. She says the word blindsided, like she was blindsided with the whole situation.
Yeah.
But I keep sensing this male, and I don't know how he connects. I don't know if he's like a friend that like was involved with both of them, or that is like in the middle of this, or I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I keep getting a T too, and I don't know how that fits. So she's talking about she's not sure if this is going to come full circle as far as there being justice of any kind, because she's like, there's not really a lot of evidence.
Right.
Was this like Mexico or something?
Yep.
Or
yeah, it was a trip.
Because and I'm wondering if she was originally from South Carolina.
That's what I'm gonna look up. I just got the computer.
Okay. Because it's like a Mexico resort, like a vacation kind of thing. That's what I keep getting. And so she's like, it's on the Mexican authorities on if they want to do anything, because it comes, as I know, the US isn't gonna pursue it. If the US doesn't pursue it, she's saying that Mexico kind of most likely won't. Like there's not, she says they were good at what this was a good plan. from her side, because she says it's really kind of hard to prove. But I do feel like either she was hit just right or something happened with that fight and with the something in her system that caused this. That's the way that it comes across. And I hope that I'm perceiving that right.
Well, I can, like, you said that your neck hurt, right?
Yeah.
There was broken bones in her neck.
Okay.
Like her
Yeah,
her spine.
okay, which would account for being beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my neck was hurting right here. So that makes sense. And that would also make me have a headache. And I just wonder if there was any head injuries, because I honestly see like a little tiny crack. But that could be with the broken neck, but I'm getting like a little tiny crack. I want to relate it to the skull. But like it feels like at the base, because now the base of my head is hurting.
Okay. So she's from North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. I just had my
And there was a friend and 5 other people with her.
Okay. So that must be the 5 I'm getting.
Yep.
I just got my Carolina. I must have heard her wrong on the north and south. Okay. At least the Carolinas is right.
Right.
Unless, one of the other people is from there. Okay. So it makes me wonder if she's not saying that like the other friend isn't involved in just the 5.
Right.
Like there's a reason she's mentioning 5, but I don't know if it's directly involved. It might be more like they know the secrets, but it's coming across as there's somebody that knows something that I feel like really wants to tell.
Right.
But they're afraid to, because this girl that started this whole thing she's mean. She's really mean, and she's kind of scary. And I don't think that she knew or understood that about her. Like, some people are really good at hiding who they are.
Yeah.
It comes across like that.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes my symbolism for like someone being beat is like, they're being kicked or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are. It's just kind of like a symbolism to show me that they're being beat up or whatever.
Right.
But there's also a reference to, I feel like I'm falling backwards. So in the midst of a fight, it feels like I'm falling and I maybe fall wrong. And that's where the head and the neck kind of come into play.
Okay. Yeah.
But if she wouldn't have gotten into a fight with this girl and all of that, then that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So in the least manslaughter, but
yeah.
She's calling it red rum because she said that the other girl was the instigator. Hold on 1 second. Gosh dang it. My dogs are kind of barking a lot right now. Sorry, I apologize. So anyways, she talks about this other like girl being the instigator, this other woman being the instigator.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like it was a fight over something stupid, but I also feel like I'm being pushed.
Okay, yeah.
and there's a reference to like the bed and the nightstand kind of area, or
Okay.
a bed and a nightstand. Like I feel like I'm pushed, I fall kind of weird. But the reason why I'm getting the whole beating up and the fight is because it was in the midst of fighting or being beat up. Like that's my symbolism for it.
Right.
So in a way it was an accident, but in a way it wasn't.
Okay.
If that makes sense, because I don't know if they really meant to unalive her. It comes across more like there was a plan to maybe rob her or something else. And I feel like there was a fight that got out of hand but again, if none of that would have taken place, then she would still be alive. So,
Right.
it depends on how you want to take it. Um,
Well, a broken neck would.
yeah.
Oh.
And that's what's making my head hurt too, because obviously if you have a broken neck, your head's gonna hurt. And
Yeah.
why I'm getting like the head pain, the neck pain, and then the top of my here on the top of my spine.
Yeah. Oh, just reading that. Oh.
Right. So because she's like kind of making me feel that. And into my shoulders and whatnot. So my dog is frustrating me right now. Sorry. Always quiet till I start.
I can't hear them, so.
Well, I can. My neighbors
Mhm.
can. That's the thing. I don't
All
care.
right,
If I
yeah.
didn't have neighbors.
Yeah.
But it does feel like I'm falling backwards.
Okay.
So at some point, I feel like there was like a push and a fall, or things got out of hand. But there was still a reference to like her hair being grabbed.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there was like 3 people present at the time, because it's like I feel like there was more than just that person there. And I don't know if
Well,
they tried to break it up or got involved, but
I'm pretty sure there was somebody else there, but I'm not gonna say why. I'm gonna see if you get it first.
well, I'm probably not going to get any names. We know that that's a hit and a miss.
All right.
But it's kind of weird, like right here's hurting.
Okay.
So I don't know if she was punched or hit or she hit this part, but
Probably.
right here where my eye is it's hurting.
Okay.
But they tried to make this, whoever's involved, they tried to make it look like it was something that it wasn't, in the way of covering it up.
Right.
And that's kind of why it wasn't really looked into in the beginning, and that she talks about evidence being missed because of that.
Yep.
And she also talks about, because the Mexican authorities, they and this is not to talk about Mexican authorities, but they just took it for what they thought it was. Like I feel like they missed evidence, didn't take DNA, maybe didn't do certain things that they should have done, like the US would have.
Right.
And she says because tourist. Like
Yep.
she's just trying to act like maybe they don't really care.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, this is all alleged. So she talks about the girl getting away with it, but again, I feel like there was other people that were there. And there is somebody that saw and knows what happened and wants to talk or will talk. That's coming in pretty strong. And if they talk, then it'll change everything. But the problem with that is I think they're being threatened or something. There's some kind of like, I'm afraid to say anything,
Right. Yeah.
And like I don't know who this girl is, but she feels real like gangster ghetto.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily like that's the vibe she puts out, but maybe it's the side of her that was being hidden.
Right.
Like I said, we don't really always know somebody. Like my arm is like feeling like it's asleep right now, which would
Okay.
come from my spine.
Right.
There's a mention of January. as being significant. And then I also, so I don't know if that's a birthday, passing, anniversary. I don't know. Can be something that's going to happen. I also get like June as well. And I hear last year, was this last year?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And she because I don't know, but she takes me also to when she was younger. I don't know if she, and this might be for her mom, I don't know if she liked glittery things, or like bright things, like shiny things, like, and I feel like maybe she was always trying to like dress in her mom's stuff or like put different designs. I get like buttons and things like that. And like maybe she had like a pull to like, bright colors or bright or like shiny things. Like that's how it comes across. Also, this shoulder's hurting. I would wonder if something happened with her right shoulder, because she keeps talking about like stuff being covered up. But I feel like if the mom could afford it and would bring in a private investigator, because she's referencing like a private investigator and doing her own investigation along with a specific autopsy, because I feel like there was something that really messed up the autopsy.
Yep. There was.
And so it really messed up the entire case.
Yep. Because she was re-autopsied again. But meaning that she was embalmed in Mexico, they're unable to tell some things as far as like injuries and stuff.
So that's why she's saying like internal injuries. So she's telling me that, but they won't be able to tell because of the autopsy's all screwed up. And that's where she's going on about how, the evidence really got messed up.
Yep.
And she's like, you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's hard to do with evidence that there is or that was collected. Like, I don't feel like it was a good job done. That's the way that she brings it across.
Yeah.
But she also talks about like how she's saying like it doesn't matter because she's okay. She knows and understands why things happened on the other side, and she needs her mom to know that. I also don't know if she was buried or if this is symbolic, but there's a reference to placing flowers on her grave. And again, I don't know if she was buried or whatnot, but there's specific yellow flowers that she wants me to mention being placed on her grave or a grave, or a spot. So I don't know if she had her buried or cremated or what. Like I said, I don't know if it's symbolic or not, but she keeps showing me that.
Okay.
So as something maybe personal, for mom.
Yeah. What months did you get? I'm not trying to change subject.
January and June.
January 9th is her birthday.
Okay. The Capricorn makes sense because she's a hard worker. My son's birthday is January 6th. But I feel like she was really a hard worker, but she really loved what she did,
Yeah.
It comes across where like she worked for everything she had, and she was actually I hear like up and coming, like she was up and coming with stuff. So I don't know if she had like a website where she put stuff, or she was working with bigger companies, or like she was starting to really branch out, but that's how it comes across. And I'm having a hard time seeing the person because I don't know if I'm seeing things through the person's eyes or I'm not getting the full. It's, allegedly whoever they were thinking it was.
Right.
I just hear like friend,
Yeah.
or someone that was supposed to be like a friend.
Yep.
Friend of me, but I do feel like I'm falling back,
Yeah.
There's a reference to like falling or a big fall or something like that. And just landing just right.
Yep.
But you know what?
Huh.
I don't know why she's referencing stairs to me. I wonder if her injuries, anything could have been from falling down a stair. I don't know, because I keep getting the reference to like a bed and a nightstand, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if something happened in that room. It feels like something did, but she's
Yep.
also referencing stairs. And it could
Okay.
just be that there's stairs outside, but I don't know if a fall down a stairs or a push down a stairs would lead something to the like this, and then they could easily pick her up and move her.
Right.
You know,
I'm
I'd be
not sure,
curious
yeah.
if they were like upstairs or something, you know?
Right.
And like maybe she ran out or you know,
Yeah.
because it comes across as like it just happened in the midst of everything, you know,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh shoot, we got to cover it up. But at the same time, there was still, and that might be where the plan, and it was the plan was is to like cover it up, right?
Yep.
But I also feel like there was always this sense of from this person or persons that they still wanted what she had, or that there was a plan, let's go on this trip and then we'll take advantage of her kind of thing. Like that's how the feeling that I'm getting.
Okay.
I keep getting like friend to me, like someone isn't who you think they are.
Right.
But I just be curious if they're on the second floor. Second floor. I don't know why I'm saying store. Second floor. But my whole shoulders, my back, everything is hurting really badly right now. Like I do feel
Yeah.
like I fell down a flight of stairs.
Okay.
Like that's how my body feels. So it just makes me kind of wonder, you know, because I feel like I'm falling. So I'm wondering if there's a certain fall that happened and then they covered it up.
Yep. Yep.
And moved her, because I don't know if she was found in the bed. But I keep getting the bed and the nightstand, so that could be why I'm getting that. I'm not really
Right.
sure. Or next to the bed or something. It's prevalent to somewhere she was at or found or whatever. Or where they said she was. But there's some kind of fall. So it just makes me wonder if she didn't like was pushed and fall down a flight of stairs and then they covered it up and moved her.
I'm not sure.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's what she's
Right, yeah.
giving, and it makes me kind of wonder that if they were, you know, there was any stairs she could have fallen down. Because I keep getting like those. I don't know. I just wonder if like they were in an area where there was stairs, and it might even be someplace they were before. But I keep getting there was something that happened in a room or something like that.
Yes.
But it could be that she turned to walk and run out, depending on where the stairs are. You
Yeah.
know, it because I do get that kind of feeling like she was trying to get away, like she couldn't really fight back anymore. She says this was unjust and unfair on a human level, and but she talks about, I don't know if her and her mom are really close. She keeps talking about her mom, but she keeps calling her mama.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like really, really tired all of a sudden and really drained. So I'm thinking and feeling, I don't know, but my whole like my arm is asleep.
Okay.
Like maybe I got a pinched nerve or broken something. But
Well, there was a crack on her spine.
yeah, that's why my whole body feels like I've been like I fall downstairs, been hit by a truck. Like that's how come my body feels the way it feels.
Yep.
Like
And
I
then
feel
there was
sore all over, you know?
Yep. Yep. Because then there was bruises found on her forehead, a broken blood vessel in her eye.
See, that's where I wonder what I was, because remember I said I was feeling that pain right here and then in my
Yeah.
head.
Yep.
So that all makes sense. Like I do feel like she was kind of but I also feel there's a fall somewhere.
And then it says the injuries could be attributed to Robertson falling when she was unconscious because she was assaulted and then went back to her hotel room.
Right, which makes me wonder if so that matches what I'm getting because I felt like I was
Yeah.
leaving the room. Like something happened in the room. I feel like I'm leaving the room and then I feel like I'm falling.
Yeah.
And then it's like they picked her up and carried her. But see, yes, the accident of her falling, but I feel like she already had a concussion or something was wrong.
Yeah.
And if they wouldn't have attacked her and her not being assaulted, then this wouldn't have happened. So,
Yeah.
you know, whether it be manslaughter, however you want to look at it, that her falling was accidental, but because that's what I said, I feel like I'm falling. So either downstairs or trip and fall, something, but I feel like I'm falling. And then I don't think she was found there. Maybe they covered it up because they knew that they knew they were going to be blamed for it, you know?
Yeah.
So it totally all matches what I'm getting, what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
so, you know, them doing what they did to her attributed to her passing because if they wouldn't have attacked her, she wouldn't have fallen. But I also feel like I'm drunk and high, but I still feel like I was drugged or something, or I was on drugs. There's one of the two.
Yeah.
So, but she's making me feel hella drained all of a sudden. I hear I love you, mama. Like, she wants to thank her for her fight in this, and she says, regardless of how it works out, because I feel like she's trying everything she can to get her daughter justice.
Yep.
Regardless of how it works out, she says she's okay.
Okay.
She said things will work out as they're supposed to, and I'm okay on the other side. Like I'm waiting for you. That's how it comes across. I'm getting chills on my legs with that. And I don't know if they had a phone call. There's a reference to a phone call, and it might be prior to her passing away or prior to this happening. I don't know if she called her from there. But there's a reference to a phone call or also conversations that maybe they had on the phone. Like I feel like maybe she told her some stuff or told her a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but there's a friendship here as well as just mother and daughter. I kind of come across as like a close, like they have kind of a close bond, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And she says, I know I was difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So she's talking about her being difficult sometimes, which we all are,
I was
you
just
know.
gonna say all kids
But
are, yeah.
she says she was stubborn. I don't know if her mom tried to tell her things and she didn't listen, but she's talking about how sometimes she was stubborn and like she wished she would have listened. But the thing was is she was like so excited for this trip. I don't know if she saved money or, you know, like this was something that she really was looking forward to and really excited about. And just how it ended is just like there should be some charges somewhere.
Yeah.
And the reason why she's like again, she said red rum is because there was something in the assault that led to her wanting to run away and ended up falling, like she had a concussion or something from the assault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm like I said, I'm hit or something, or there's some kind of I feel like there was an injury that caused her to fall on her way back. Because again, I was saying she was leaving, and then I said I felt like I fell. The stairs could be symbolic for falling, or she could actually fallen downstairs. But I feel like she fell in because when I want to go outside of the room, it feels like it's cement or something hard like that. And
Okay. So I think this said that she fell in the bathroom.
I feel like there was a fall on the way back to her room or a fall on the way somewhere. That's
Okay.
the way it comes across because it comes across as I'm trying to leave and I fall or something. Something happens.
Okay.
In that form is an accident. But if I wouldn't have been beat up and I wouldn't have a concussion and there wasn't an argument, then that wouldn't have happened. That's how
Right.
she brings it across.
Right.
So, but there's no way to really prove it.
Right.
Is what she's saying. Like there's not really any evidence to prove it. In the long run. Which she's okay with. You know, she's crossed, she's happy, she's fine on the other side. She shows me that she's in the light. And she doesn't want her mom to spend the rest of her life trying to get justice and fighting and spending all this money and doing all this stuff.
Right.
Because she says in the end, like, she's okay and she can't bring her, it's not going to bring her back. And this is just kind of what happened.
So they're doing a protest next month.
Yeah. So, I mean, the problem with court cases and things like that is evidence. You know,
Right.
if there's no evidence, someone can't be charged. So the thing is since all the evidence was kind of messed up, it's like it's hard to charge somebody with no evidence. Like the
Right.
DA won't pick up unless it's in court, so they can do all the protests they want to do, which is great, and she appreciates. But if there's no evidence, there's no evidence. Unfortunately, why my goats are crying. But that's kind of how it kind of comes across. She doesn't want people going to jail or getting in trouble because of her. That's not what she wants. That's not what she would have wanted. Does she want justice? Yes. If it can come. But she's okay on the other side. She understands things. She says there's a thing called karma.
Yeah.
So she's talking about what goes around comes around.
Right. So when she was telling you that there's more than just that girl there,
Mm-hmm.
well, there had to have been because somebody recorded the fight.
So that must be why they said that they had evidence or they wanted to talk or something or they saw it. That makes sense. I want to pull cards because I'm not really getting much else.
But I didn't want to say that till I knew you were done.
It's all right.
In case you got it.
Well,
So wouldn't that help convict someone?
Yeah, but it doesn't show that she, it's not like they show her passing away, probably, if she passed away after that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's evidence, but there's not. It takes beyond a reasonable doubt. We all know,
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have had my cards out.
And then my other question was the plan, so you already got that. So.
Yeah, in a way it was. I feel like it was planned, but not to the point that it ending up like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really need the area. Well, do we need the area? We don't need the area, right?
Right.
We just need the situation suspect and
Yep.
I mean, we can pull the area and see if it's accurate.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing cards, but I don't see any more. Okay. My goats are like going nuts outside. My dogs are going nuts outside. I understand. So this is the suspect. And she drained me really fast. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know how to
She was
communicate.
ready to. Yeah, she was ready to talk.
But I mean, my back is like hurting now, and I can't feel my arm.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's like falling asleep or something.
Well, it looks like she had bruises and abrasions all over her body, like you said. You had full body aches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she had scratches and abrasions all over her body, her stomach.
Yeah, because she got in a. I'm telling you, she got in a
Her
major
legs,
fight.
her.
It was a major fight.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the fight and the fall contributed to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do feel like I'm falling, but it was almost like that was the final thing. But I feel like at some point she got a brain bleed or there's a reference to her, like a crack in the skull and a like.
Yeah. Yep. Her skull wasn't attached like to her spine. Like she had a broken nose or broken neck. Yeah.
Like right here, it was hurting at the base right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was detached. It was detached from her skull.
Yeah, that makes total sense because that's what I was saying. Is it was like right here, and I felt like there was a crack. So yeah.
Well, that was broken, and then the crack was her spine. Oh yeah.
I do think she fell somewhere hard, Yeah.
But
I do feel like I was moved or put somewhere else to cover it up. Like that's the way it comes across. These make absolutely no sense. I'm redoing those. It makes no sense. Aliens. I don't know. But I do feel like the instigator, like I feel like a female was the instigator.
Yep, it was a female fighting with her in the video. So
I got the alien card again. Who's the alien?
right.
Do
Well,
we know anything about this person?
no. And I tried to find the video. I didn't see it. I tried to find the names of the people that was with her. I didn't see it.
Because I pulled. So it's weird because I pulled like a male card and I was saying like there's a male involved somehow, and I don't know if that's just like he's in the middle of it or not. The alien card I don't understand. The bloodline I don't understand. The parental figure, so I don't know if this person has a kid. I don't know. Because I got parental figure and caregiver together and child. That's like all kind of weird. I don't understand those. And if how we perceive it, I mean, her mom's fighting for her. It could be that, you know?
Right, yeah.
And how we perceive it. But I get like assassination, basically. Family, and thief. So those are kind of weird cards to pull for the suspect. And again, it's kind of all on how we perceive it. But it's funny because I said that I felt like they wanted to steal from her or something. Or they wanted what she had. Or that could just mean that the person is a thief. Oh, she's making my head hurt.
All right.
I'm getting that. Know how earlier I was getting that pain right here? I'm getting it again.
Yeah. So she was with a friend and 5 others. So she was with 6 others.
Okay, but not counting her, there's 5 other people.
6.
Right? 6 other people?
Yeah, there was a friend that went with her, but it doesn't say if it was a boy or a guy or a girl. So she was with 6 others.
Well, there's something with 5. Maybe that other person isn't involved.
Right.
Because she was adamant with the 5. I lost my picture of her, which I think I'm done, but just trying to pull a situation here. She can make my body quit hurting now, though. Like, I get it.
Right.
That's interesting. That's interesting. See? It's weird because I pulled the drugs poison card. Death. I got natural causes, accident, and homicide. So it's kind of an accident and a homicide at the same time.
Right. So on Wikipedia, it says her cause of death is homicide.
Right. And either it was made to look like something or not, but whatever it was caused her to fall, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just because I get beating up and falling were the cause of her passing.
Right.
But she keeps showing me like a brain bleed.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that ultimately maybe is what it was.
Oh, she worked as a model.
Oh, she did. Oh,
I didn't know
that's the
that.
runway. I didn't know that either. That's the runway I'm getting.
She had photo shoots for famous destinations and places like Miami.
Oh, that makes sense then.
And so she was a successful businesswoman. I didn't know that.
Me neither. But it makes sense now with what I was getting.
Right.
Like, and that's how she came in, was walking a runway.
Yep.
And my cards are just to kind of validate things, so
Right, yeah.
I always take my reading first. Or, I mean, I always take my reading at face value, but my cards just kind of, I use them to validate. All cards and tools are an extension of us anyways. But, so should there be charges? Yeah, there should be charges.
Yep.
But it's proving it. That's the problem that she's
Right.
saying they're going to have, you know?
Yep.
Unfortunately. I don't know. I hear slap on the wrist, so I don't know.
Basically.
Yeah. But let me tell you, she's drained me so fast. I literally have never gotten this drained. I'm hot over here trying to drink this energy drink and ain't doing crap for me. Well, if this stuff doesn't make sense, totally does. I just keep pulling because it keeps making sense. All right. I wonder if all those other friends were like a cult. They pulled a cult card.
Never know.
Did she work for her or something? Or I don't know what that is, what that card is.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they all relate.
I don't either. But okay, so I got drama. Got surveillance, which we just talked about. Evil. Success, because she was successful. Affluent, she was affluent. Anger. Blackmail. Debt, but I don't know if that's related to her or not. Witness.
Yep.
Intuition, which I think this card pertains to me.
Okay.
You know, like what I'm getting. I think that's what it is. Cult, which is why I said, do they act like a cult?
Right.
It's not like a real cult, but you know,
Yeah.
like when people are like close knit. And then that's why I asked if she was working for or something, because I get a fired card, but I don't know who it relates to.
Okay.
My goats are freaking out outside. I don't understand what's wrong with those babies. You know what? I want to pull the area because I just want to see what it gives me.
Okay.
I want to see if it's accurate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get a P too. I don't know. I was getting that earlier and I didn't say it because I don't know where it fits.
Okay.
But I feel very messed up.
Yeah.
I hear the words taken off guard, like she was taken off guard. I wonder what's around there. I did get the boat card. I wonder if it's by the water. Crossroads. I don't know. This one's hard. Because they're not really looking for her. So I was wondering if I would pull the hotel motel card.
Right.
Which I didn't. So I don't know. I don't think I'm getting anything else. He like drained me really, really, really fast. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes they drain me faster. If their energy or their spirit is stronger, it will drain me faster. Or they don't know how to communicate, or they need to use my energy. But at the same time, it's like she was clear, but she wasn't clear,
Yeah.
Like it's like watching like a fuzzy movie. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
And I just kept like, I can't really see the people around her, but I can feel like I'm in a fight, I'm getting beat up, like I can get the commotion and stuff. And then, like I said, I feel like I'm falling. So I feel like it all kind of played a role. But there's a reference to like, I feel blame, like she had the brain bleed, because I'm getting that really strongly.
Okay.
And it happened during the fight.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
and then she fell, and it was like, that's what caused her to fall, and everything else that happened to her. Does that make sense?
Yep. It does. Yep.
Like that's kind of how it's coming across anyways. And that's how she's kind of like laying it out for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's showing me like her walking on the beach in a bikini. I have no idea what that's about. I don't know if she did any bikini modeling or if she was just walking around on the beach down there like that. But again, there's a lot of jealousy and rage and anger with this other person. And it feels like there was at least 3 people that either were in the room or something, but there seems to be 5. I don't know where the other person is, but she was really adamant about 5 people, like no or whatever. She says there will be charges. I just don't know what kind of charges.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be like they get a hefty sentence or something. But the evidence needs to be found. That's the way she's talking about. I wonder if her mom has a private investigator or something, because she keeps talking about one.
Okay.
She just doesn't want her mom to spend all her money and all her time and all like her energy in the last parts of her life, like going through this, like trying to fight for this.
Yeah.
She's more worried about her mom's well-being. And she wants her mom to take care of herself. Because she's a little, she's concerned that, I don't know if her mom isn't sleeping or something. She's talking about like not sleeping, and she's not, she's pushing so hard for this that she's not taking care of herself, which any mother would. Don't get me wrong. She just wants to make sure that she knows that she's okay and she'll be okay regardless. Like that's the biggest message. And she just keeps talking about karma. So there's going to be some kind of karma here with the people involved. And we might not know about it, and we might know about it.
Okay.
But I also get like some guilt. There's some guilt with also someone that was there that's having a little bit of a hard time with it, with depression or whatnot.
Right.
And I don't really want to say like there's thoughts of like unaliving, like at this point, but I just don't know which one it is. And I don't know if it's just like the depression or whatnot.
Right.
She says everything just went too far. That's the way she talks about, like everything went too far.
Okay.
And it's almost like, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. It wasn't important.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
According to this article, she was robbed by $10,000 by people she trusted.
Okay. That's why I kept getting that then.
Yep.
I feel like that was a big part of the motive, and maybe even why they were fighting or something. Or there's something, again, there's something with some dude or something. I don't know. But it's weird I pulled the male card, but I know that I feel like the female was the aggressor, but there may be like a male involved somewhere.
Well, maybe the male is the one that was recording.
Possible, or is more involved than what we know.
True, yeah.
You know, because at one point, I don't know if they're trying to break it up or they're involved in it, you know?
Yeah.
But the drugs poison card I pulled, which is interesting because I keep getting that and feeling that. And maybe that's why she's trying to make me feel that way. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's going to come up in an autopsy depending on what it is, you know, and the fact that the autopsy is all screwed up. There's a lot of
Right.
evidence that isn't going to, we're not going to know about. So,
Right. Well, one of the autopsies didn't show much alcohol at all yet. So,
yeah, it doesn't feel like it's much as our alcohol. It may be like, you know, there is some, but if like she keeps dropping that pill in the drink, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if she was mixing alcohol and drugs or someone else did that to her.
right.
Like I think maybe they thought about, you know, robbing her and things went too far. But there's anger and drama here. There's some kind of between these two women that maybe just all came out, you know, it kind of
Yep.
all came to a head at this point, and everything just went too far. Like the fight went too far, everything went too far.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way she brings it across. But still, like she says, like they should be held accountable, but regardless, there's going to be some kind of karma that's involved here.
Yeah.
She keeps showing me the ocean and the beach. I don't know if she really
Yeah.
liked it or if this just because the hotel is by one. But I keep seeing like waves on the beach. I feel like some kind of change or movement will come from this. I don't know if that means that there'll be a new law or, you know, a new law or a new like foundation or something like that, or some sort of change.
Yeah.
Because she says, let her passing mean more. So I feel like, I don't know, there's some kind of law change or foundation or there's something like that, you know. Sometimes whenever I get that, it's like there's a law in this person's name or there's a foundation, like that's how it kind of comes across.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so but I keep getting like her mom got a phone call like in the middle of the night. Like I feel like I'm woken up, I have a phone call, but what I'm being told is not what happened.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm trying to call everybody to see what the hell is going on.
Yep.
And I don't know if she was taken to the hospital or why there's a hospital involved. Okay. But then it's almost like I was moved though from where it happened at to make it look more like it wasn't something that, you know, whether it be an accident or whatever, like they're not involved, but she just did this on her own. Like that's kind of the feeling I get, you know.
Yeah.
So
yep.
I don't know. What do you think? Is a good reading?
Of course.
I'm trying to get more, but it's like there's not much more to the story I can get because I'm having a hard time seeing the people for some reason. They're really fuzzy. And I'm not really sure why that is, but I can't even really get a good look at the woman.
Okay.
Involved.
Well, none of their names have been released to the media, so
right. So I wonder if a T and a P play in there anywhere.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
oh, and I also get an R and a K.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people involved. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I literally cannot even see them. They're just so fuzzy.
Okay. Yeah.
But there is a reference to maybe braids, and I don't know again who that is, if that's her or someone involved.
Okay.
And I'm only gonna get what I meant to get in the timing I meant to get it at, and there might be a reason. There might be a reason I'm not getting it. I don't really know what it would be. Maybe because they already know who's involved. Like I don't need to get that.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's just like all really fuzzy, you know. I hate that. Like I just can't see it clearly. I can get the idea and kind of like understand what happened, but I can't really see who's involved clearly other than what she said. So
right. Very sad situation for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like again there's a money or something that plays a part, which was what was coming in.
Yeah.
So anyways, I forgot to say, anybody that wants to support me, all the ways to support me are down below. The booking link is down there and booked out pretty far. But there's merchandise, there's the old podcast. And yeah, any way you want to help out is down below. I think that's it for the night. She's got me completely drained. I'm not really getting anything else. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.